Hello, I'm Christian, the host of Genie podcast. This podcast is dedicated to celebrating Christina Aguilera's artistry and impact and the incredible community of fighters united by her music and message. This podcast is a space for reflection, perseverance, and meaningful conversations with those we've met along our journey and those we have yet to meet. We also get a little messy when history calls for it. And today, we're answering that call because we're diving into one of the most chaotic, unhinged, and misogynistic feuds of the early 2000s, Christina Aguilera versus Eminem. Grab your Von Dutch trucker hats and low-rise jeans because we're going back to 2000. Luckily, they're both back in fashion. In 1999, both Christina and Eminem blew up. Christina came out swinging with Genie in a Bottle, snagging a Grammy and topping the charts with an album that would go on to spur 4 #1 hits. She was the bright new face of pop, delivering powerhouse vocals and an image that squeaky clean media loved. Meanwhile, Eminem dropped the Slim Shady LP, full of alter egos, shock value, and celebrity name drops. He positioned himself as the anti-pop crusader, which, spoiler alert, didn't stop him from being obsessed with pop stars. They were total opposites, yet orbiting the same planet. And funny enough, the feud started out kind of flirty. In early interviews, Christina openly admitted she had a crush on Eminem.
I'm looking forward to meeting Eminem, actually.
You want to meet Eminem?
Yeah, I want to meet Eminem. I think he's cute.
Wow.
She said,
He's actually been a crush of mine for a while now.
Eminem then responded,
She's cute, and I've heard little things that she said about me or whatever. Thank you very much. First of all, I don't even know if I want this award. I might just take Christina home tonight.
but the sweet nothings to the media ended all because of a playlist and a small man's ego. Now, at this moment in pop culture, MTV was at its peak. This is before their programming turned solely to reality TV, and they were still playing music videos. This is also when they had music journalists bringing us the latest breaking scandal and gossip from everyone in the music industry. Oh, the days of not just Carson Daly, but Suchin Pak, John Norris, Kurt Loder, and Ananda Lewis. To further promote her debut album, Christina teamed up with MTV in 2000 for a special called What a Girl Wants. The format was simple. Christina and her friends lounge about and host a block of music videos and discuss what it is that a girl wants. In this 2-hour special, Christina selected a playlist of 10 videos, such as All the Small Things and Waiting for Tonight. The format was pre-YouTube and was basically a reaction video. Yes, our queen of reaction videos. She had all the nice things to say about Jennifer Lopez, Blink-182, and even took pre-recorded questions from people on the street. Also included on the list of videos was Nookie by Limp Bizkit. This would be months before their much talked about collab on the VMA performance. Now this is where the feud all began. As I said, previously she had mentioned about having a crush on Eminem and wanting to meet him. She would go on to include My Name Is by him on her list of videos.
So I picked Eminem, My Name Is, because whenever this video came out, I think a lot of people woke up and were really taken aback by Eminem's individuality as far as his name goes, his style. He's got a cute face. Look at his face.
And just like those words and Eminem, they all aged like milk. Candidly, with her friends, she mentioned the false rumors that the two were dating.
There's been some stupid rumors too, actually, that are not true as far as he and I go, whatever. He's a cool guy. I met him like once at the European MTV Video Music Awards,
And that Christina had heard that Eminem was possibly married to Kim, the woman he often referenced in his violent lyrics.
I heard he's married now.
Eminem?
Yeah, totally. The girl that he talks about killing on his record, actually.
She then commented on the disturbing content of his song 97 Bonnie and Clyde, which depicts him unaliving Kim and dumping her body with his daughter in tow.
It's pretty graphic, like taking this girl out, killing her. You know what I mean? Like the mother of his child. And it's kind of aggravating to listen to. You know what I mean? It's really, I don't know, some of his albums kind of disturbing a little bit.
As all of us fighters know, Christina is a survivor of domestic abuse herself, said plainly that this kind of music made her uncomfortable, which is fair and true. After rewatching this clip, you can see the early inklings of our feminist icon were already being shown. She went on to talk about women demanding respect from their partner and leaving the situation if they can't give them that respect that they deserve.
Abusive situations are not cool.
I know, absolute worst.
I get a lot of fan mail and everything from a lot of girls that are just in really bad situations, and it's I've kind of been around situations like that growing up, and if anything, it's I'll talk about difficult times to try to get other girls. That's why really emphasize respect, self-respect, and making a guy treat you right and whatnot, because it's so important, because there's so many girls out there that are just so enslaved, you know, to their guys sometimes, who don't have enough self-confidence and stuff, and it's so sad, you know, because that's where it leads to like abusive situations and whenever, and that's so wrong. I mean, girls out there, you've got to pull the plug on situations like that. I mean, don't let a guy disrespect you and get yourself in a situation where you're being treated less than what you deserve. I mean,
less than the best.
Less than the best.
Though no lie could be detected from Christina's comments, Eminem's fragile and misogynistic ego couldn't take the hit.
She picked one of my videos. I was like, that's cool that she picked my video. She heard a rumor that I was married and then said, and I was like, no, you didn't just say that, you little bitch.
Little bitch put me on blast on MTV. Yeah, he's cute, but I think he's married to Kim.
And I was like, why did she just pick my video if she's picking it apart? She didn't know if I was married or not. She just heard a rumor and then put me on blast. But I figured, well, since she did that, I'm gonna voice some rumors that I heard about you.
So what'd he do? What all fragile men do. He called her a slut and started rumors in the media and in his songs about her. On The Real Slim Shady, the lead single off the Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem fired shots directly at Christina. He accused her, without proof, of hooking up with Carson Daly and Fred Durst, and made a vulgar claim that she gave him an STD. He didn't stop there. On a B-side track called Off the Wall, which featured the rapper Redman, who Christina would later to go on to work with on Dirty, Eminem imagined dragging Christina by the hair across the Sahara, just violent, unnecessary, and deeply misogynistic. And yet the media treated it like popcorn entertainment. Christina, a 19-year-old woman at the time, was now being publicly slut-shamed by one of the biggest artists in the world. And people cheered it on. It was a messy time, and we got to see it live in action at the VMAs. At the 2000 VMAs, Christina had just delivered her iconic Come On Over Baby medley performance, complete with a Fred Durst surprise duet, when Christina and Britney, in all their cuteness, were exchanging a bit about having a fun night and poking at the tension between her and Eminem.
Tonight has been an amazing night for the both of us. Yes, it has. Getting to perform on stage at Radio City, meeting Janet Jackson, Eminem. Anyway.
After the show, Durst would receive flack from his audience about the collaboration with Christina, so he said he did it all for the nookie.
Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst on stage romp with pop trumpet Christina Aguilera at last month's City of Music Awards appears to have alienated some of the band's fans.
I want that girl, and that's that. I don't want to make music like her. I can't stand that kind of music.
And Christina would later have to recant that. In fact, no nookie to be involved.
Whatever, you wish you got some nookie from it, whatever.
Yo, he got no nookie. No, that did not happen, okay? But, I just want to clear the table right there. And the thing with Carson, too, you know, with Eminem's whole song, did not happen, okay? It just didn't.
Then just 2 years later, in 2002, Christina was to give us one of the most iconic videos of a person descending stairs to a podium and present the award for Best Male Video, which went to Eminem, and it was momentarily awkward. When his name was announced, Christina deadpanned, "Interesting." The energy was ice cold.
Interesting. Eminem.
Eminem came up, took his award, didn't acknowledge Christina, and the tension was thick, like Kylie Minogue level tension. Later, she would go on to say that they spoke backstage after presenting the award and everything ended amicably.
Take Eminem, for example, had any real hatred towards me. He just thought that, obviously, he thought that I had dissed him in an interview or something, which I hadn't done. And, he reacted, and how does he react but to make a record about it, or put it in his rap. And, we actually got a chance to talk at the VMAs, even kind of clear things up. And it's all, a good energy kind of thing. And the purpose for even having those, that interlude of all this stuff was just because it set up myself to kind of have an answer to not anyone in particular, but just all the hype and, rumors and gossip in a way.
But Christina, she didn't release a diss track. Instead, she made art. In 2002, Can't Hold Us Down, she and Lil' Kim tackled the double standards of women in the industry and in the broader sense. And yes, it might have been a somewhat response to Eminem. It was a response to the world at large about the double standards against women and the way she had been treated. as the queen should, she moved on. But Eminem, decades later, he would still be name-dropping her. In 2013, in his song Evil Twin, he says he wouldn't mess with Christina. Then in 2018, 8 years later, he dropped her name in another cringy verse with rapping about grabbing her boobs with a plastic spoon. Like, get a new shtick. Christina was asked about this on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and with her signature poise, and simply said,
I mean that's real thirsty. I don't know what's going on. That's real in the past, and you know, it was thirsty then, it's thirsty now, and you know, it's not nice to go after anybody, especially a female, and in this business, and now what we're looking at and seeing and things that are coming to the forefront, it's just, you know, get a new gig, you know, have something else to talk about.
Get a new gig, indeed. And mic drop. So it baffles me that Eminem is still around playing this same old shtick, and people just still eat it up. He recently released an album and it did decently. It's interesting that he's still around and making music. What could he possibly be so upset about? Christina living her best life? That Christina, like Mariah, also rejected him and called him out. So what can we take away from the saga? The Christina and Eminem feud is a textbook case of early 2000s media misogyny. A woman spoke her mind about violence and abuse and was publicly punished for it. Christina took the high road and never once stooped to the level of rumor slinging or violent lyrics. And honestly, that says more about her character than anything Eminem ever wrote. As for some shady, maybe it's time to let it go. Like Christina said, get a new gig. Thanks for listening to the Genie in the podcast. Be sure to follow, rate, and review, and tag me with your thoughts. Did you remember this feud? Were you Team Christina, or were you fooled, and did you side with Slim Shady? Thanks for listening. Stay beautiful.